Hey, and I'm gonna go live as well on TikTok and also Instagram. And it's funny. I've been all day without playing my guitar. Can you believe it? Any guitar. Guess what I've been doing all day? Social media. So, what I want to tell you guys about social media is be careful. You're not going to practice enough if you do social media too much. So what I'm doing right now, I have a slight problem with my tone control here on my guitar. Okay, and I'm going to actually show you all the kinds of picking styles right now for everybody who's watching. So if you can see my picking hand, it's very important. So I'm going to go live right now on these other channels. So I'm going to be on 4 different channels right now: YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok and Instagram. Okay, and I'm going to be doing this live workshop about picking styles. So please, if you have any comments or any questions, let me know and send me a message. And also, just letting you guys know, I'm going to go live right now on TikTok, and I'm going to go live right now on Instagram. Is that I'm offering a special right now on my Patreon. You get a free week if you join my Patreon. So we're going to talk about picking and about picking styles. I actually just released a video right now on all the platforms: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all about picking. Okay. So you know what? I haven't touched a guitar all day, so I'm just doing one of my warm-ups for picking, which is a controlled tremolo. Now, if you look carefully, I don't know how well you can see my pick, but on these different channels, but I'm actually picking at an angle which is going up, which I learned from the great Rodney Jones. Okay, which is the George Benson picking technique. Okay, now it's a great technique because I never could get any speed, but now I have speed because of that technique. A lot of great guitarists use it. Rodney Jones, Bobby Broom, Ed Sherry, I heard. Dan Wilson, great young guitar player. There's so many. Of course, George Benson. And I heard that he learned how to pick up like this at an angle because he used to sit in a car and he used to practice all the time. I heard. I had some friends that played with him. And when he was, getting started going on the road, he would sit in the car like this with the pick. Now, this only works. That technique only works with about, hey, how about it? You just sent me a gift. Thank you, Victor Bradshaw. If I just send you a gift, sure, send me a gift, Victor. Victor's sending me a gift. My good friend, Victor Bradshaw from Ohio. I think you're in Ohio right now. He's going to be sending me a gift. I really appreciate that, Victor. And you're a great friend. And Victor's been following me for the last couple of years, at least. And giving me a lot of gifts on YouTube, so I appreciate it. It's called a super chat on YouTube, actually. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing a warm-up because I haven't touched the guitar all day. So it's a controlled tremolo. If you look very carefully, everybody, at my pick, when I hit the pick on the string here, I got to adjust this because there's some people watching from different angles. I'm on 4 different platforms. So when I hit the pick, I don't actually make too much clearance with the pick going down or up. What I do is this. I keep the pick and when I clear it, I'm right against the string already. So I get as much speed as I can off that pick. See that? So I keep that pick. And I try to control it with dynamics. Now, the problem is, with that picking technique, see, I have a 7-string guitar right here. And what happens is all my strings have to be flat wound to do that, okay? So when I'm playing an acoustic guitar, I can't do that. I can't pick at an angle like this. So this is I'm just doing alternate picking right now. We're gonna be talking about different picking styles. So right now on the sixth string, these are all flat wound nylon tape strings here, which are made by Labella. Okay, I have them written. I have them over here someplace in a box. So to show you. And then the first string and the second string are just regular steel unwound strings, and the seventh string is actually a bass string. So when I hit that string, if I pick that angle, I'm going to turn up as much as I can here. You see, if I hit that angle, I can't do that. You get that scratching noise. Oh, Victor's in Arizona, cool. So you hear that? Wow. So how much space? Someone asked me how much space between my string and the body. So my strings are pretty high. See that? Can you see the strings clearly, guys? I have pretty high action. Actually, I had higher action than this, and it started to like well, I couldn't get a sound out of the guitar because it was so high. I don't like low action actually. I was at Guitar Center recently, and this I actually saw a friend of mine, well, someone that followed me like on TikTok. And she was trying a guitar that had nines, and I know Steve Vai, a lot of people play that nines, but I can't play. I can play tens, but not nines on a solid body. So on this guitar, I have a pretty high action. You see that? But also, I have heavy strings too. So these are 14 to 79. Okay, so I'm not used to light strings anymore. And one of my guitar teachers, Pat Martino, used to use 16 or 17 on top. So anyway, so when I'm picking on the guitar string, okay, I tend to pick at this angle, but if I have to play a string that is straight like this, I have to hit it straight. If it's wound. Sure, Victor, sure. If you want to send me a PayPal, Victor wants to send me a PayPal, just send me PayPal at Ron Jackson Music. So when I'm picking on this string, I'm picking straight. So it can be confusing when I'm playing. Sometimes I'll straighten out my picking to play a round wound string because you can't do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see some comments here, and some people have comments on TikTok about any questions about picking. Now let me say hi to everybody here. So yeah, Victor. So yeah, just so you know, Victor, I want to show you the banner for donating on PayPal if you want. Okay, and here we go. I'll show you. It was my birthday recently, so I'm doing that, everybody. So you know what? I'm like a technique kind of guy a lot. I mean, I like to work on all this stuff because I write. I actually I've written some. I have a book that's through Acoustic Guitar Magazine, which is on picking. Actually, I've done a bunch of articles for them, for that magazine. Okay, so for example, let me show you a couple of things here. So when I'm playing, I think my book is over here that I wrote. Here's my book. So I write for Acoustic Guitar Magazine. Okay, and there's 3 books that I have out with them. One is about scales and mode mastery. This is a chord book, and I have a picking book. So I did a whole article about economy picking at one time. So let me see. I'm going to answer some more questions here that might be on TikTok everywhere. Hey, pin your goals. So let me see. Let me see what my goal is. So I don't know how to pin these goals actually on TikTok. So I don't know where this is at. So anyway, let me see where my goal is on TikTok. I can't see the goal, but anyway, so let me continue now. And my goal on TikTok is to get 50, I think, roses or something, or 50 points. So I haven't seen anything yet. Okay, but so everybody, please share my live stream to everybody when you get a chance. And let me see who's making some comments here. So this is a picking workshop, everybody. So we're talking about right now just getting warmed up. Okay, now let's talk about the picking styles I use. So one of the picking styles I use a lot because I play a lot of solo guitar as well is hybrid picking. So what hybrid picking is basically just using your pick and any fingers that you might have left to play other stuff. Like usually I do that with chord melody. So like I can actually play chord melody, which is all picking, but it's much easier if I actually let me say wave to some people here. If I actually just use my other fingers to play like the chords like this. So what I'm doing is with my pick, I'm actually doing a walking bass line, okay? And then my other fingers, I'm actually using. I'm just I'm just comping like a piano player or a guitar. So I use different rhythms when I'm doing the accompaniment with the bass line. So I'll be using like a reverse Charleston, or just a regular Charleston, or I'll just hold the chord longer. So I'm doing this on a 7-string guitar, everybody, just so you know. So that's a little bit different than some other things, when I'm actually performing. So let me see. Let me see some of the comments here. Thank you, Victor. And so let me see. I'm gonna see if there's any questions here from you guys right now. Joe. Hey, Joe. There's a Joe P watching. Let me see what's going on my Instagram here. All the people that joined. So if you have any questions about picking or anything, everybody, let me know. It's hard to wait to all these people that are watching. Hey, Victor. Okay, yeah, Victor. Thank you, man. Don't worry about it. Victor wants to send me a gift on PayPal, but he's gonna wait. So let me see. I'm gonna say hi to some people right now on Instagram right now, and just wave to them and just thank you for watching my workshop. So we're talking about we were doing alternate picking in the beginning to warm up. Okay, there's a message here, and let me see. And oh yeah, someone said there's 2 messages here. Oh, let me see if there's another person who might want to go live. So everybody, just please share my live stream. So let me get going here and continue. So I'm gonna show you these other pick styles right now. So that was hybrid picking. So when I'm actually doing hybrid picking, it's very important because when I'm doing solo guitar and I'm doing chord melody and all this other stuff, I'll do a bunch of different things. So if I'm doing a melody, let me play you something. So I'll be picking my notes, but the thing is that when I start really getting into like playing the chord melody, I'll have to use hybrid picking. So for example, like a song like I have an arrangement for like this one. doing is I'm actually mixing up hybrid picking with, just regular alternate picking. And so when I start actually soloing, so I'm actually trying to do chord melody and walking bass lines and everything all at the same time, okay? And chord soloing as well. So I'm kind of mixing it up. Now I can actually play just all picking if I want to, but it makes actually it's less versatile to do that. Actually, it's much harder to do that. So I like to mix up the thing, the hybrid picking with regular picking. So I like to use octave harmonics too, like that, just to fill up. And you can do octave harmonic things with your picking hand too. Like, I forgot about that part. Hear that? See, so you know what I'm doing? Octave harmonics right now. So that's another good thing you could do with your picking hand is octave harmonics. So I like to do that. So you got to make sure you're exactly 12 frets away from the note. And I like to use my pick as well and the side of my hand to do that. So it's a good technique to actually be able to do on the guitar, on the 7th string particularly too. So these are good techniques to use. So if you have any questions about this, hey Ron, 8-Minute Axe, how you doing? 8-Minute Axe said, incredible. Well, I'm trying my best. It's kind of weird to it's kind of interesting to broadcast to about 4 different channels at the same time and keep up with all you guys. So right now, it says my phone is dying on me. Why is that? Oh, it's not plugged in all the way, maybe. So let me see what's going on here, guys. I want to make sure this is all plugged in. And yeah, I think it's plugged in. Doesn't seem like it is plugged in. So maybe the cable, something's wrong with the cable here. So I'm plugged in, trying to make sure we're all good while you're watching. I got to plug in my iPhone here because I have 2 phones going, and hopefully everything's good. Hey, Ron, is it possible to play harmonics on chords? Yes. So someone's asking me about harmonics on chords. So I tend to play with a pick. I can do it with my fingers too. So I do this. That's SC Flare. So when I'm playing with my picking hand, so you can play harmonics like this. It depends what kind of harmonics. I'm doing octave harmonics. So of course, you could do harmonics with chords like this. I like doing things like this. This one. So this is like an E major 7 chord. So, it's hard to hit this 9th fret harmonic. Okay, and then you can hit the 7th fret and play C major 7. Okay, or you can play C major 7 with this too, as well, or F major 7, which makes it F major 7 sharp 11. Okay, and there's different things. So what happens is those are regular open string harmonics. And I like to do melodies like that too, like okay. What's really cool about the guitar, you can do these cool harmonics. I don't know if I can do it too easily on this guitar. It depends on the strings. You could do, when you get really into harmonics, because I used to study classical guitar a little bit, you can do these little harmonics like this. You hear that? So those are harmonics, natural harmonics. So I'm doing actually a C. I'm doing actually this is an E7 chord. And when you hit between the second and third fret, you get the flat 7. So this is the 5th fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret, and then the middle of between the 2nd and 3rd fret, you get the flat 7. And then you can do it on every string. So it's easier on the thicker strings, obviously, to do those harmonics. You know, my strings have a lot of dirt on it. It's hard to get those harmonics out, and actually they're getting old. I can feel it. So, you know, depends on the string. So those are cool. So now, the other thing I was showing you earlier with your picking hand, you could do octave harmonics as melodies, like so you got to really look carefully at the 12 frets away. But you know, so those are much harder to play and execute. Okay, so we talked about a couple of different techniques: alternate picking, and hybrid picking, octave harmonics. Also, I like to use I do this a lot when I'm playing. Actually, I use economy picking. So I did an article about economy picking for Acoustic Guitar Magazine last year or the year before. You know, it was during the lockdown, and so you know, you can pick up my books again, you know, on my website. This particular book, the physical book I can sign up for you, is called Chords at Your Fingertips. And so on acousticguitarmagazine.com, let me fix this up a little bit because it's getting weird here, the camera. So for the YouTube and Facebook channel. So you could use also economy picking, which is actually the way I actually play, because I don't really pick every note when I'm taking a solo. So like I used to say with Pat Martino, he picks every note that so you know what I'm doing is I'm just going I'm picking every note. So when I'm picking, you know, when you play like that and I have a heavy pick, the sound is really, really dense, or whatever you want to call it, really forceful. So I'm picking every note right now. So it sounds good. Oh, I hear my other guitar going off. So I'm playing the 7th string right now. I haven't played the 6th string yet. The 6th string's easier, just so you know. So when I'm playing, I'm actually picking every note right now, but I don't usually play like that. I mix it up. So with economy picking, you're actually mixing up alternate picking, sweep picking, which I like to do a lot. That kind of stuff, okay? And then slurs, which are hammer-ons and pull-offs. So I mix those all up instead of doing a line like this, or any kind of line like. I'm just playing just 4 notes. I don't like to pick every note all the time. I like to, so it sounds smoother. You understand? So I like to mix that up. Let me get my 6-string guitar out. And remind me, everybody, I got to fix my volume control on my Benedetto, because it's like getting loose and it's not coming out correctly. So That's my Benedetto 7-string. So I love this, also this D'Angelico 6-string here, which has 14s on it too. So the pot on this one is making some noise. You hear that? And it actually has more output. You hear that? So now on a 6-string guitar, to me, it's a little bit easier to play because the 7-string, you know, and the 8-string, which I own actually, I have a Bossy 7-string. You know, it's much, you know, it's much harder to play than the 7 or 6-string. So when I'm playing on the 6-string, and I like to use a lot of when I'm playing solos in general, I use economy picking a lot. I don't pick every note, and I don't, you know, I don't sweep all the time, and I do, you know, I mix them all up. I do hammer-ons, pull-offs, sweeping. So I'll be mixing them instead of going. So that line, I'm going. So when I'm playing really fast, I don't pick every note. I'll go. So what I'm doing is, when I'm doing this, I'm actually, what's the word? I'm actually sweeping. Now, if I played every note with something like that, which just doesn't sound as good to me, because when you sweep, it's actually a cool sound. It's a smoother sound to me. So when I do a lick like that, I could go. Hear the difference? I could do it like that. I could go. So you hear the difference? I'm doing a hammer on. I mean, I pull off. I slide down actually. So these are slide down, pull off. So when I'm actually doing these kind of licks, you know, or riffs, I'll mix them up. I don't do absolute picking. I'll be doing sweep picking, hammer-ons and pull-offs, and also alternate picking. Okay, so that's called economy picking. I do that all the time when I'm actually playing because it helps me play. It helps you play a lot faster. To me, it's hard to pick every note, and like a machine gun. You know, like Pat Martino. I don't know how he did it, but he always picked every note. You know, you do a crazy stuff. You know, so when I'm actually playing really fast, which I like to practice a lot every day, I try to play fast as possible. I like to actually, you know, mix those all up. Hey, Jimmy Darling, let me see who you are. Jimmy. I'm trying to see if there's anybody who might want to go live with me together. So I'm trying to get to a goal of 50 roses, subscription goal. Also, you know, if there's any questions, please let me know. This is on TikTok. Now, I don't know what else is going on here on YouTube and stuff. Let me say hi, and on Instagram. I'm just trying to say hi to people that are watching on Instagram, and please share my live stream. Any tips on good standard, a good standard jazz solo? So, Iden is asking about any tips on doing a good standard jazz solo. Just so you know, if you want to do a good solo, you know, you have to get somebody to help you learn how to improvise. You know, but the most important thing is to listen to how people actually take solos and learn their solos. And don't, you know, really someone really can't teach you how to do that. You have to really do it yourself. Everybody thinks that they can get a teacher or go to YouTube and just like learn a solo. They'll tell you what to do, but it's really hard to do. Learning how to improvise is really trial and error. I realize that, you know, after all these years of playing, that when I'm taking a solo, let me turn this light on a little bit here. When I take a solo, it's really important that I learned how to solo just because I've been, I would learn solos from other people. I would take their licks, and you got to understand once you learn the solo. Like everybody wants to learn a solo, but they don't know what the chords are. For example, I know I have some students who are taking lessons with me, and they're like, "Okay, I learned the melody." And I said, "Okay, you want to take a song?" Then they take a song. I said, "So what are you playing over?" He says, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know the chords." Like, what? Jazz is all about playing over the chords. So that's a great question. So if you want to learn how to play jazz, you got to learn how to play over the changes, which is the chord progression, and you got to learn how many different ways you can play over those chords. You have to learn from solos. There are different techniques. Like you have to be able to play a scale over the basic scale over a C major chord, for example, when you're on that chord. Now, if it changes, then if it goes to an A minor, you have to be able to play an A minor chord. So that's very basic. That's when you start playing changes, but it's much more than that. If you're just playing a scale, it just sounds like a scale. It's not playing. It's not playing jazz. You can play a C major scale, lower C major scale, but not know how to play jazz because you're not playing jazz when you play C major scale. Jazz is like, let's say you're playing C major scale. What does that sound like? Sounds like a major scale. My phone just. My Samsung just broke down. I don't know why it's not charging. It's so weird. Anyway, so I'm not on TikTok anymore. So anyway, so basically, what's happening is my phone just said, I don't know why it's not charging properly. But anyway, let me see what's going on with my other phone right now. So if you want to play a jazz solo, you have to really transcribe solos and learn other people's solos and get a teacher to help you start playing with other people, learning the chord, learning songs, learning tunes, learning the melody, learning the chord progression. It takes so much, and then listening, having a good ear, having good form. It's a lot of things that you think are easy to learn, but they're not. I still work on this stuff all the time. So that's a great question. So let me see what else is going on here. Okay, my phone I think is charging now. So I lost people on TikTok because my phone died. Anyway, so let me continue now because this is going to be going. This is going to be live on my YouTube and Instagram. Excuse me, and my Facebook channels for you guys to watch after. Okay, so let me continue. That was a great sound. It's much more percussive sound with the sweep. You think it's much more percussive sound with the sweep? I don't know about that. Because you know what? I don't know about that. To me, I think I understand what you're saying. Maybe it being percussive. Miss Spooky Pookie, it's much more percussive with the sound with the sweep. Maybe it is. It just depends. Like when I'm doing a sweep. Now it depends too, because I don't play with any effects, so it's a different way. It's different, a different approach when you're playing jazz guitar. Okay, when you're actually using sweeping than when you're doing with distortion and compression, which sustains your notes. So that's a really interesting concept. But when I'm talking particularly about jazz, so I just basically mix up my sweep picking and alternate picking and all kinds of stuff with with my jazz playing in general. So I just do economy picking. Now let's continue. I'm going to continue with one last subject: fingerstyle picking. So when I'm playing, I like to use fingerstyle picking a lot myself, particularly. Awesome harmonics, pinch harmonics are really difficult too. Yes, you're right, Spooky. Oh yeah, a lot of people are watching right now. Like a lot of my friends, like Eddie, and let me say hi to some people. Uh, any tips on So that was a good question about jazz soloing. Let me see who else is watching and see if there's any other comments. Hey Jeffrey, my friend on Instagram is on YouTube again. Thank you, Jeffrey. So I'm just saying hi to some people here, and thank you for watching, everybody. You can watch the playback, when you get a chance. Um, after this, it's hard to actually manage all these channels. Let me see who else is watching here and say hi to people here all over and see if there's any other comments that I missed. And let me see. Okay, good. Oh, you're welcome, Jeff. Thank you. So I like to use fingerstyle picking too. So, I mix up the picking with, hybrid picking, but also I play with my fingers too. I mean, I don't play as good as with a pick, but I can play without a pick, And my thumb, I forgot about the thumb. So I'll do like octaves and that kind of stuff, like Westberger. Now, when you play with your thumb, man, it has a really big, warm sound. So I mean, I'll do that in my octaves, So I'm using my thumb as a pick as well, which is really kind of a cool thing to do. So, and then I'll use my fingers to do things like this, like. My volume control is making me look. So anyway, I'm just playing with my fingers this time. So if you're a guitar player, you should be versatile enough to be able to play these different styles. Who's really good at that is Russell Malone. He's great with his finger style playing and pick style playing. Much more versatile than most jazz guitar players. And he's been doing that for so long already. Octave harmonics. It's good to use. I think a lot of when a lot of jazz guitar players, particularly who play jazz, they try to play like a horn player. And where I find that rock, and folk music and other styles of music, they try to play the guitar like a guitar with the open strings and the harmonics. So I think that's one thing I don't have an issue with it, but it's just like I think some guys who play jazz guitar could play the guitar like a guitar more than a saxophone or a trumpet or something. So it's good to be able to use the guitar like a guitar and use the different techniques of the harmonic of the guitar. So and that's what's really good about the 7-string. So when I take out my 7-string guitar, which I got to work on, there's something wrong with my volume control here. I got to be careful. I got to take a look after this live stream. So when I'm actually taking a solo, the 7-string is a really good instrument because it really makes you play play it like more like a guitar, you know. You can get a lot of strings. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing up hybrid picking right now. And I'll use my fingers to be able to play octave harmonic. And you can mix them up with little things like this too. Watch this. So it's really good to be able to mix up your picking styles on the guitar with not just like typical jazz runs and stuff like that, but make the guitar sound like a guitar, you know, using octave harmonics, you know, finger style kind of things. So I used to do a lot of samba stuff to. So you know what? So what I'm actually just doing is just so you know I've studied so many different kinds of styles of music that I like to you know, try to use the versatility of my guitar playing. So you know I also have all these kinds of guitars. So every approach to guitar is a little different when you're picking. So let me take out one of my nylon string guitars. So this is a 7-string right here. A 7-string nylon string right here. So I mean, it's, you know, this is not easy to play. I gotta turn this thing too. So you know, so this guitar is a Cremona. I'm an artist for them. They're made out of Bulgaria, and this is a Cremona Fiesta 7-string nylon. So when I'm playing this, you know, I use a pick. Like I love Al Di Meola. He's one of my favorite guitar players. I follow him, you know, on his Instagram and all this. And I've been following him since he was, you know, since he was playing with Chick Corea. And what I like about him, he, you know, when you're playing a nylon string, you're not really supposed to use a pick, they say, because you know it's really a finger style guitar. But he always uses a pick, which is he sounds so great on it. So does John McLaughlin. And these guys, you know, the approach to playing a nylon string is so different from playing a steel string guitar, you know, and the sound. So when you mentioned sweep picking, someone's asking me a question. When you mentioned sweep picking being percussive, I remember Guthrie Govan said sweeping sounds more abrasive to him, unlike playing arpeggios combining legato and tapping. It depends. I think that's a good point, SC Flair. And let me pin that comment. So when I think it depends. I think on I don't know, when actually someone's playing a sweep on a distorted guitar, it's different. But I can see that what he's saying, when you're doing legato, it is smoother in a way. But you can do it depends what you're playing, you know what I mean, and what kind of guitar you're playing. I think in a jazz setting it sounds good because you hear George Benson doing it all the time. Here you go. For example, this lick. This kind of lick. Yeah, I can see what he's talking about though. That if you do like what's the word? If you do a hammer on and pull off, it could sound smoother, you know, and especially with distortion and overdrive. Okay, so when I play a nylon string, I have to have a different approach. Like it's the strings respond differently. So what I like about Al Di Meola, he'll go like some really beautiful stuff. He'll do like a really fast run. So these strings are pretty dead, actually. I got to change these. But so when you play a nylon string, the problem is these strings are wound, so I can't really do my sideways picking George Benson technique because the strings are round wound. So if I do that, you hear that? So I have to hit straight to get that sound. So. Yeah, so I like nylon strings for that. But now, if I take out my steel string guitar, it's so different. Listen to this. If you're picking on a steel string, let me get this thing. Let me put this guitar back properly. So I've dropped this guitar before. Okay. So look at this, everybody. So I have a steel string 7-string right here. So this is interesting. Let me take this little thing out of here. So you see my steel string 7-string? So I have a low A on this one too. And I have a couple of low 7-string guitars right here. So when you play a steel string guitar, it's a little different. First, when I play with these guitars, I don't like to use the heavy picks. We never talked about picks actually too. So this is the type of pick I actually use, which is a custom pick made by Jim Dunlop, which is a downrun pick. I used to use Pickworld picks, but I need to get this kind of picks too, you know, from them. So I have this for jazz, which is a heavy pick, and an extra heavy pick, which is this purple one. Okay. And then when I'm using acoustic guitar, I don't like to have these heavy picks. I like to use more of a lighter pick. And I know that Al Di Meola, for example, uses a very light pick in general to pick. So when I'm playing a steel string, I gotta keep in mind too that this is a round wound string. So this is good for, you know. So here's the C chord on it. So I have a lighter lighter pick for this type of guitar because on the acoustic guitar, steel string, I don't like to have the heavy picks. I can't get there's less tension to me. You can do those kind of cool, folky kind of tunes with a lighter pick too. When I'm also playing funky stuff too, I forgot to mention before because picking is like a whole different world. There's so many things that you could do with the pick. I don't like to use heavy picks when I'm doing funky stuff, because it's much harder to play to me. There's a lot more tension when you use a heavy pick for that kind of. So when you do those triplets and stuff with a heavy pick, it's kind of difficult. So yeah, so those are different kinds of techniques we could talk about with picking. The kinds of picks you use. I can't use those really small Jim Dunlop picks. I could never get any speed. That's me. So remember, picking is your own personal preference too. And so to get into picking, you have to find your own style. You remember, this is the guitar as well, and with the guitar, everybody's style is so different from each other that you have to find your own way. So I know some people are great players who use a really small Jim Dunlop picks for jazz, but I like, after I took a lesson with Rodney Jones years ago, a great guitar player, teacher out here in New York City, who teaches at Juilliard now. I took a lesson with him in my early 20s, and I changed from that pick to this kind of pick, a teardrop pick, because I could never get any speed. So now, the only problem I have now is I don't practice enough, but like everybody, I'm always busy with doing other things than playing the guitar. So, making the gigs or not practicing and doing other stuff. But the thing is, when I used to practice 5-8 hours a day, I really got my speed back together with the certain picks I use. So I use, heavy picks for jazz. So I have 3 different kinds of picks. And you can get this on my website too. I have, this is like a medium pick, a heavy pick, and an extra heavy pick. I know the different colors, and I sell these too as well if you want to check them on my website. But people don't use. Some people have these weird picks and they sound great. So I don't know. So it just depends on you. So the pick styles is. So we went over all these picking styles today. We went over hybrid picking, alternate picking, economy picking, alternate picking, octave harmonics, thumb playing, fingerstyle guitar. We didn't talk about classical guitar. There's a classical method that I studied out of. I studied like like out of some of these Carcassi books and Sohr books, Fernando Sohr. I took some classical guitar lessons. And some of the Segovia books. So Segovia method. So it's good to learn all these different things with fingerstyle playing too, and knowing the numbers, what your thumb is, poger, index, annular, ring. I forget. There's different names for these. So, and knowing these technique, and that's a whole different world, classical guitar. So I own all the guitars. I actually have 12-string guitars too, and so I play 7-string. But remember, if you play 7-string, you still play 6-string. Everybody thinks that oh yeah. So what about you? So what you stop playing 6-string? No, I didn't. When you play 7-string, you still play 6-string. That's the thing. It's the other way around. A lot of people don't realize that you still play 6-string when you play 7-string. And I'm working on 8-string right now. So I got one over here. This Abasi 8-string guitar, a Abasi Concepts guitar. I got a couple of years ago. I picked it up like a week or two ago and started playing it. I was like, oh wow, it's a little bit better now. But I don't really look at that thing like I should. So it's good to expand your horizons and very versatile and be very, very versatile and just always learn new things on guitar. So technique and picking technique is really important to me. So thank you everybody for watching. You can watch the replay of this on my YouTube and Facebook. I might leave this on my Instagram, but I appreciate you guys. Please follow me if you don't, and we'll talk soon. Let me see. There was a question here. What's something you first learned that you still play? Oh, let me see. What's something you first learned that you still play? Oh man, there's so many songs that I first learned that I still play. There's so many. I mean, there's so many songs I still work on. I tell my students always learn something new, in general, but there's always things you got to review. But I'm always trying to learn something new. So, there's all kinds of songs that I play that I learned that I still play. That's a good question. Let me see. So I thank everybody for watching. I actually have an early gig tomorrow. I got called for, so I have to be there at 8. So I hate to see you guys. Thank you, SC Flares. If you don't follow me, please follow me. If you want to subscribe or anything like that, my Patreon. Just so you know, my Patreon is there's a free 7-day trial of my Patreon if you want to join. If you want to take a lesson with me, let me know. Come to see my gigs. It's been great. All my shows have been almost sold out recently or full. And remember, social media is cool, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't have an audience that comes to see you play. So and also, it's not, social media is not everything. Imagine if Facebook or these places closed down. What would you have? You got to still have your audience that's like real people. So remember, everybody, it's more than social media. If you want to learn the guitar, you can't just learn it off YouTube videos and watching me talk about it. You got to actually, get a hands-on teacher to see it, how you actually play. Okay. So we'll talk. And thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. I'm going to get going now. Bye-bye.